In this lesson, we'll be exploring different strategies to illustrate and solve division problems.
Why, hello there, everyone. I don't know about you all, but it's been a great day. The sun is shining, I don't have a headache, and Miss Jewell went to the store to buy a brand new bag of dog treats for Axel. Oh, Axel!
What Cheez-Its?
These gourmet cheese biscuits sure are Axel's favorite. In the whole bag, there are 355 gourmet biscuits. When I go for a walk with Axel, I like to take just a little Ziploc bag full of his favorite dog treats. But I don't like to take more than 5. So if I decide to take 5 biscuits and put them in a bag, how many bags of 5 can I make with 355 biscuits? In this situation, I'm making groups out of something I already have. I already have 355 biscuits. I'm putting them into groups of 5 when I put them in bags. So for this operation, I'm gonna use division. 355 divided by 5. Now there's a couple different ways that we can solve 355 divided by 5. The first way that we can use is an area model. Let me show you. Just like with multiplication, I'm gonna draw a rectangle. However, in this instance, I'm gonna put the 355 on the inside of my rectangle. And then I'm gonna put the divisor, which is 5, on the outside. For other math vocabulary, that 355 is called our dividend. Our dividend is what we start with. Our divisor is what we're dividing by to get our final answer, which is called our quotient. In this situation, we're gonna see what we can multiply our divisor by where our answer is gonna be less than 355. So what can we multiply 5 by where that answer is less than 355? There's a lot of things I can multiply. There's not one right answer. I could do 5 times 10 to get 50. I could do 5 times 5 to get 25. But here's a helpful hint. You wanna see how big of a multiplier you can get before getting those smaller numbers. If you get a big multiplier out of the way, you're already closer to finding that quotient. And this is where that wax off and wax on strategy is really gonna come into hand. Well, some math facts I already know are my multiples of 5. And so when I'm thinking about it, I can know that 5 times 6 is gonna be 30. So then I might think, okay, well then 5 times 60 is gonna be 300. So I can multiply 5 by 60 to get 300. So where I'll put that 300 is right below the 355. And from that point, I'm gonna subtract 355 minus 300. What's that gonna get me? 55. And from that point on, the next step I'm gonna do is add another block and continue the same strategy. In my other block, I'm gonna carry that 55 over so that way I can figure out what I can multiply by 5 to get something equal or less to 55. So what can I multiply by 5 where that answer is gonna be equal or less than 55? Well, funny you should ask. My favorite thing to multiply by is by my tens. And I know that 5 times 10 is 50, and that is less than 55. So just like last time, I'm gonna put that multiplier on top of the block. 5 times 10 is 50, so I'll put that 50 below 55. 55 minus 50 is gonna get me 5. Now you're gonna continue this process until you reach 0 and you cannot go any further. So we still have 5 left. So what do? I add another block. Now just like the other 2 blocks, I ask, what can I multiply 5, which is my divisor, to get something that's equal or less to what's in the block, which in this case is 5. My only option is 5 times 1 because 5 times 1 is equal to 5. So I'll put that 1 on top of the block. 5 times 1 is 5. And notice when I subtract 5 minus 5, I do get 0. So I cannot go any further. So from that point, my final step is to add all the multipliers that I pulled out. All the parts I pulled out, which are the numbers on top. So I'm gonna add my 60 plus 10 plus 1 to get my final answer, which is my quotient. Miss Jewell can make 71 bags of biscuits. And just for fun, area model is not the only strategy you can use to divide big numbers. Another strategy you can use is called partial products. Let me quickly show you. Just like when we made our area model, we put our dividend, 355, inside a block with our divisor, 5, on the outside. For partial products, we're going to follow a similar pattern where we put our dividend, 355, inside a giant 7 looking shape with our divisor, 5, on the outside, just like that. Then, instead of adding our multipliers on top of blocks, we're going to pull out the parts and put them to the side of our figure. Our first equation we multiplied was 5 times 60 to get 300. So let me show you what that would look like in partial products. In area model, we put the 60 on top and did 5 times 60 to get 300. In partial products, we'll add the equation on the side. 5 times 60 equals 300. Just like area model, I'm going to subtract the 300 from the 355. And I will still get 55. Then, just like area model, I'll ask myself, what can I multiply by my divisor 5, where my answer is going to be equal or less to that 55 inside my figure? And from our area model, we saw that we can multiply 5 times 10 to get 50, which was less than 55. So just like our area model, I'm going to pull out 5 times 10 to get 50. And I'm going to subtract that 55 minus 50 to get 5. Just like our area model. And then last but not least, I knew that 5 times 1 equals 5, which completed my area model. So I'm going to do the same thing with my partial products and pull that out as well. 5 times 1 equals 5, and 5 minus 5 is 0. So I'll pull that out. 5 times 1 equals 5. 5 minus 5 equals 0. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to add together all my multipliers. In this case, it's the numbers that are in the middle of the parts that I pulled out. So I'm going to circle my multipliers and add those 3 numbers together. 60 plus 10 plus 1. Just like on my area model when I added 60 plus 10 plus 1. And 60 plus 10 plus 1 equals 71, just like we saw when we used our area model. 60 plus 10 plus 1 is 71. So I'm going to add that right on top of my partial products. So whether you are using area models to divide or partial products to divide, either way you're going to get the same answer. In this case, it's 71 bags of biscuits for Axel's walk. That dog sure is spoiled. So with my bags of biscuits in hand, are you ready for our walk, Axel?
All right, buddy, let's go.
And this is Miss Jewell. Catch you next time.